Hello there! Today is day 24 of working on a currently untitled project. So let's hop right in. So, this cube, I hate it. Why is it bad? It seems just fine. It has a nice volumetric effect on it. I don't know if it seems to have any little banding issues on the OBS recording, but it seems just fine. Why is it bad? Well, it looks great. So there couldn't possibly be an issue in the game view, right? I mean, why would it look different? Right? So, this is what I was faced with at the start of the day, was this, basically, is what I found everything was, this was the issue. This is actually the old version. I've since improved it. It turns out that you need to render this in 2 passes. I'll get into the exact details in the ramble section, but short version, you need to render this in 2 passes. Okay, I can do that. I can render it in 2 passes. You just do that and that, and now there are horrific banding artifacts. So I hate this cube. I hate this shader. I do not know why this is the case. It's bizarre. I have not encountered this in any other engine I've worked with. I have built custom engines. This shader works fine there. I have worked with Unreal. This shader works fine there. It is only Unity and only in the game view. In the scene view, again, it is completely fine. There is no problem whatsoever. In the game view, tough luck. You need to render it twice, and even when you do, there's just horrible banding. So, that was many hours of my day today, was getting to this point and finding out that the shader is still completely unusable unless something changes. So, yeah. So, what else did I do today? Well, let's break out of this and let's just delete this guy. I'm just going to ignore those for now. I'll fix them at some point. I do not care to at the moment. I did try out some variations on the hexagons from yesterday. The hexagon pattern. This is doing it with multiple layers. I think it actually looks pretty good like this. Oh, the echo is turned off. There we go. That looks a bit better. I think this has a neat effect to it. It gives it nice depth, so you actually see that this is like a solid surface. It's still not perfect by any means, but it is. I feel like this is another improvement over yesterday. This is costly though. Like, it's another couple hundred game objects running. They aren't doing any checks. I turned off the checks to so there's no physics being run on them, and they aren't doing any updating. Everything, all the animations controlled in the shader, but it's still pretty costly. It's also fairly noisy just visually. Right now it's pretty easy to see the enemies over it. But I could foresee an issue where it just becomes too much visual noise. I have a friend who has visual snow and in their eyes, so that's, I may want to run this by them just to get an impression of like, hey, is this too much? Can you still see things just fine? Which also probably yes, but this is something that I just need to pay attention to for accessibility. Yeah, anyways, I guess I've already gotten into the ramble section, so if you're just here for the core stuff, this was pretty much it. Feel free to click off. If you want to stick around and listen to me ramble, feel free to stick around. So the red cube. I actually want to bring it back for a moment. So why was this happening? What was causing the red cube of awfulness? It's complicated. So the way the volumetric shader works is you have your camera here, and you look out and you see your cube, and you see the front face and you see the back face. Both faces are rendered in this technique. What you do is you render the back face and you add this distance multiplied by the intensity, and this gives you a given value, say 100. So you add 100 of color times multiplied. We add a value of 100 multiplied by the color to get some to the frame buffer, and you have and it blows out the frame buffer horribly. You then take the front face and you subtract, say 99, and you end up with a value of 1. And that's how the shader works. You add this particular distance between the two fragments that render. The problem that's being caused, the problem that's causing the blowout on these sections here is that for some reason the frame buffer is clamped at 0. You have like some value, it's clamped at 0 for some reason. So if you subtract first, the value just goes to 0. It doesn't go below 0 as it should, because like if you have -90, if you're subtracting 99 here, it should go to like -99, right? And it doesn't, it goes to 0. And then from there, you add 100. So then it just blows straight past, and it, just... I do not know paint all that well. So the value just blows straight past. They, normally have it 0 to 1, and this just blows straight past that. And that's what causes that effect. So you render it in 2 passes. You render the back face first so that you add, so you go to 100, and then you render the front faces, so you subtract 99. And then you have a sane value. It should be more like 99.5, and then you get a value of 0.5, something like that, but the underlying point remains. So, okay, you can do that, but then for some reason it is still... You can still see the banding artifacts even at this distance, and this I cannot figure out. I just have to assume that the frame buffer is crappy for some reason. The frame buffer is just bad. I don't know exactly the details of this, it's just that it sucks. And that is incredibly frustrating, because, again, I don't have this problem in any other engine that I've ever worked with. It's... Well, I've gone through the rant, so I probably shouldn't go through it yet again, but this is just really annoying me because I spent all day on this and did basically nothing else, and even though I solved the big problem, the other problem is just still there, saying, nope, you don't get to use this shader, because Unity says so. And that's just incredibly frustrating, because I'm not doing anything wrong. Everything is correct, the math is correct, the shader is correct, I've done this before, and it doesn't work. And that's just infuriating to me. is just incredibly infuriating to me. So, what to do next? I have made a forum post on the Unity forums. So maybe someone will answer and say, oh, you can actually just do this, and then my problem will be magically solved. But I somehow doubt that that's going to happen. I just don't buy that. It seems like wishful thinking to believe that that will occur. It seems like this also won't work at all. I'm not exactly sure what order I need the shaders in, but yeah, so you'd want the back rendering, and then that seems to, yeah, it seems like it only then future shaders seem to only go onto the material 1 slot instead of the material 0 slot. Ideally, they'd alternate, 0, 1, 0, 1, or something like that, so that you could control for this. But if you want to have the mesh separated into multiple materials, and you want to render it in multiple passes, what you need to do apparently is actually split apart the mesh entirely into separate meshes, and then render each one in multiple passes, which that is, I mean, I can do it. There isn't like a fundamental problem doing it that way, but I hate it. So, yeah, I'm upset. And tomorrow, I'm going to see if I can work on this character, on the this enemy again. I'm going to see if I can do another pass on this guy. I have a few more ideas to try out, inspired from Super Hot, and gonna give it another go. I might work on death effects. I need to do something nice after today, so yeah. Fingers crossed tomorrow will just be a better day overall. I did not go around to playing around with the ICO today, and I only got around to playing a bit with, oh, I forgot to, yeah, I also did a bit with the, sorry about that flashbang, with the volumetric shell here. This is something that I said I'd try out today. It's weird. It doesn't work. You can see that there aren't any issues there, but for some reason, when I move around like this, it just has that happening. And I'm not really sure why. But it seems to be whenever you get away from the origin, it just has this ripple effect, which kinda looks cool, but I'd like to know what's causing it before I actually try to add it into the game. And right now I do not know what's causing it, so that is a problem. I haven't debugged this. I genuinely have no idea what's going on. Again, when this is on its own, everything's fine. Or at least it seems to be. Yeah, just everything's totally fine. It's when is one of those hexagons that generated that it just proceeds to be strange and weird, and I don't know why. Yeah, I should have mentioned that in the core stuff that I did, but yeah, this isn't going to stick around in its current form. Oh, sorry about the flashbang again, that was what I wanted to disable first. Yeah. It also doesn't really look volumetric is the issue, like it doesn't fulfill its purpose. Let's bring it back one more time just because, and this time no flashbang. If you use it on this one, my hope was that, like, around these parts here, like, you'd see, like, you'd get, like, a glimpse of the volume straight through the depth there, and you just don't. That just doesn't happen. Yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of hoping for something different, and it didn't play out the way that I was hoping. And it has a visual glitch as noted, so yeah, not great. It needs stuff to actually interact with it needs multiple things with multiple depths before it actually looks like a volumetric cloud, otherwise it just looks like it just looks transparent, like a sheet of paper that you can see through. I'm not necessarily great at descriptions. Yeah, I don't like it. So that's going away. Anyways, that is all for today. If you have any comments, questions, ideas, or anything else on your mind, leave a comment below. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you again soon, and under better circumstances. Take care.